Hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
And did I get the time wrong?
No.
Nope, you're right on time because we are
No.
going live right now as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Book Asylum podcast, a division of Angry Eagle Publishing. I am Jack Childress. That is Kristen Vincent. Over there is the bad wabbit himself, Anthony Castro. Angel Ramon coming to us from the Palm Beaches of Puerto Rico. Dungeondan hanging out there in the still probably hot as hell Texas area.
Yeah.
And Doc, where are you coming to us from today?
I am in Palm Springs at the Tiki Caliente Resort in the back of La Fern Bar. And any background noise you hear is coming from Sancho's Mexican restaurant, all owned by a very dear friend of mine, including the Tiki Bar here, the Reef, which of course, you know, I'm a big Tiki freak. So of course I'm here and we're all drinking, having fun because it's, you know, already 11 o'clock and, you know, they're on their like 20th drink out there. And
Very
you guys
true.
Doing it right.
Doing it right. Living large. Living large. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the show this week, we have big time getting going. First book, we do believe, Mr. Paul Tigger Ieson. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to finally be on this thing. I've seen it a couple times.
Dude,
Nice.
hope we did. I'll say, yeah, hopefully we
And
didn't
you
make
still
too big
wanted to
asses
be
of
on
ourselves.
here.
Well, you know, it is what it is, man.
Show went downhill when Anthony got here.
Yeah,
you
Just
know,
fucked us up.
Exactly.
Just straight imploded.
Bad
It just
wabbit
straight up
himself.
imploded. Well, man, go ahead and give us a little bit of background into you. We were talking before we went live here, and you're not a stranger to this whole podcasting game.
Oh, well, background. Okay. Background as far as internet goes, or background as far as whatever?
What background as far as whatever?
All right. Well, let's see. Back in the day, I used to work for Conrail. After I worked as a cab driver and got to drive a locomotive for a while, ended up losing that job. And I'm not going to go into why. And let's see, I've traveled the country. I've been married 3 times and well, 4 times with this one. And back in 98, I started writing the book, and that was this one here.
Beautiful
And
cover.
I-
Beautiful
from-
cover.
Thank you. That's DJ. She did that.
Nice.
And from 98 until like 04, I was writing the book.
Mm-hmm.
Sit and think about it for a while, and I figured that out. I was writing the book until like 2004, 2005. And then it came time to publish it. And so I went to CreateSpace, and CreateSpace, I was on technical support for hours and hours and hours. And they kept saying, oh, it will automatically update. It will automatically update. And it never did. It was always the same screwed up stuff that I first put up there. And I learned a lesson that way, got away from CreateSpace. And then what was it? In 2020, I published this book and a few others. And when it came time to, you know, sell my books, it was like, oh, great. I got a whole 100, maybe 150 books sold. That stopped dead in the water. And Jennifer Folk, I knew her for a long time. She says, I was in a magic shop one day, and she says, well, I'm a published author now. I said I was a published author now, whichever one said it first. And the other one said, oh yeah, I am too. I said, I don't have a publisher though. And she says, oh, but I got one. And then she sent me to DJ or JD.
Yeah,
DJ.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names sometimes. And well, now she's got the first one published for me. And the second one is A Twisted Life, which is a time travel story. That's supposed to be out here this year yet. And I'm working on the apocalyptic ending to this.
Oh, fine.
Very cool, man. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Immortals among us, life as a human. It's the immortals that were once the pagan gods they're no longer gods. They don't hold the status of gods. They simply walk the earth and try to blend in with the humans without humans ever being the wiser. And then drama takes place in this book and all that kind of happy stuff. There's dragons and all kinds of cool stuff in the book. A human even becomes immortal. And the title I'm going with the next one would be Immortal Apocalypse, where it's the how the immortals deal with the apocalypse that the humans are going through and how they have to fix things because other Anunnaki want to take the world. The lizard species of the Anunnaki want to take the world back and make it their own and get rid of the humans. So
That's
I'm sold.
a
I'm
hell
going
of
to
a-
get
yeah,
that
I'm just-
book today.
straight up, man. That is
Yeah.
a hell of a concept, man.
I like
So
it.
now, where did that come from? Did you dream that kind of thing one night, or were you just riding around and it popped in your head?
the funny thing about the story is that the first page and a half I wrote, we were doing Rocky Horror at the time every weekend. So I talk about that a lot in this book. That's the show that I'm referring to without mentioning the name. And the first page and a half, there's a scene where a guy runs up over the car in a book and he's jumping up and down the car. Well, I had my buddy read it before we went to Rocky that night. And after the show, somebody ran up and over top of the car and was jumping up and down.
What?
And then, I meet him at the diner and things didn't go as pretty as they did in the book. I'll just put it like that. But where did the concept came from? It's like, well, I've been pagan all my life, basically.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, well, why not just talk about the mortals that people think of as gods in their perspective? Because I wanted a book that nobody else had done. Outside of Roger Zainsley, is that how you pronounce his name? Do you know who I'm talking about? He's an author. He wrote the Chronicles of Amber, which was 12 books.
Yes, wonderful.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Well, the Covenant of the
Wonderful
Licorice
things.
Unicorn was a friend of my coven's. And so I knew Darshan and several of the other people that he integrated into his books. So the Covenant of the Licorice Unicorn in his book was a real coven. So a lot of the ideas and a lot of the magic that took place in his book, a lot of that was based off of real stuff, as well as that's where I got the idea to do that with this one and not really tell any secrets, but make things as entertaining and as fast, because this thing, you can go through this fast. If you can read decent, you can read it in 3 days.
Wow.
Very awesome. So question, you said that you've traveled, to several countries. Did you
Not
get
countries,
any-
just in the
Just-
US.
okay. Did you get any inspiration from where you've traveled to go into your book?
Well, I wrote part of this on the side of Cathedral Rock in
Wow.
Sedona.
Wow.
That's cool. I know Sedona well. I grew up
you?
nearby. Yeah, I grew up in Williams, Arizona.
Oh, cool.
And
I lived
Williams, Flagstaff, and then every summer we'd go hang out in Sedona back when it was still cool.
back when it was still cool, before
Yeah.
somebody would move to Sedona and 3 months later, they're a shaman.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. Back
Seriously,
then they
that's
still had
Sedona
natural
now.
water slides, and now it's all just trashed.
Yeah, it is nothing but tourism now.
Uh,
Sedona was awesome. I was there for 2.5 years.
That's
I
a
lived
great
there.
place.
Yeah.
Man.
Right, well, Deej just texted. She's not able to make it. She's at a thing, as she said. She's always at a thing. Seems like
Tell her I
busy,
said,
busy.
tell her I said, shame on you.
And also, Tracy Nudd says hi.
Hello, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Hello.
I do have a
Yeah,
question.
and okay, go ahead.
Is that a rubber chicken?
Yes, it's a rubber chicken.
Are you by any chance a Ghoulie fan?
Yes, I am a Sphinguli fan. I have, a little,
Oh, I
I
love
have an
you.
alien here
I love
too.
you all.
Huh?
I send out a list every Saturday morning about Svengoolie and what movies he's playing and synopsises. So I love
I-
you because
As a
you
matter of
Svengoolie was.
fact, if you go to my YouTube page, you can find an
Mhm.
interview that I did with Svengoolie.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, I love you even more. There we go. For all the
Awesome.
authors out there, you
Let's
know,
make sure we
asked-
get that. I'm sorry. I just want to say,
I
let's
was
make sure we
gonna
get
say,
that
I
link in
haven't-
there.
I have a maid of mine out eating in Sancho's, and I've asked him to pop by if he would. He's a movie director and he does horror films.
Oh,
And he's done several, and in fact is doing a script right now for his next one. So I'm hoping he'll pop in here. So if we get visitors,
Oh, cool.
you'll, you know.
That'd be
I
really
should say,
cool.
"Oh,
That's
come
fun.
on in."
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to jump off. My son has got some friends coming over for his party today and yep. But I will be messaging you later once things kind of calm down to talk with you more about your book. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
that's
definitely
cool.
interested.
You friended me yesterday, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did. Yep.
Okay, so that works.
But
Yeah, and now once she gets you in her clutches, she don't let go. I'm just
No,
letting
she
you know
don't.
up front.
That's fine. I can be very annoying myself.
there you go.
My grandkid says that to me every day. You're just so annoying.
well, y'all have an awesome day and I will catch up with y'all later.
Bye, Kristen.
Okay.
Did you
Bye.
flip me? Did you
Thank
flip
you.
me back over to host? No,
Yes.
you're
I'll
still
flip you.
No, you're still showing as host.
What? No.
Oh, don't
No,
do
no, you're
that.
not. No, you're not. You're good now. You're good.
Okay.
Right.
See ya.
I'll take care.
Crisis
Bye.
averted.
Right? That would
I know. This is where it would go wrong.
Oh, see, this is where I don't know people well enough to run my mouth.
Uh-oh, recording stopped.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was recording. Yeah, she was recording onto her laptop. So,
No, at least we're still alive.
Can't you hit record, Jack?
maybe. Let's
Whoever's
see.
supposed to be able to hit.
Y'all keep talking while I'm doing this.
Yeah, okay. Well,
For some reason,
So-
it's disabled on me.
So
I don't
anyway,
know why.
I got a question here.
okay.
So yeah, so first of all, happy to meet you, my friend. So I wanted to ask you, when did you start writing? What was your first knack at writing? You know, when did you actually start?
That was high school.
High school, okay.
You write for the school paper?
Ah, okay.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Oh,
it's,
cool.
I didn't write for the school paper. I would submit short stories. And the short stories, I wish I still had those because they were actually kind of good. At least the memory of them I had. They might have sucked by now, but you know. But that's where I got my start. And then I didn't do it for years and years and years until I was about 35. And it's like going through a divorce. And it's like, okay, well, I got to have something to focus my mind on, or I'm going to just live in misery.
Was that something you came into naturally, like just something like you wanted to do, or did you have somebody push you, like a teacher or somebody like that?
I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome. Nice.
To me, that's what makes the mark of a true writer. Is it's like I want to do this. I'm not just wanting to do it. I'm going to do it. You know,
Yes.
well, I get
So-
asked all the time, how can you write that much? And how can you write like that? And, you know, I couldn't do that for hours every single day and things like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, for one, I don't do it for hours every single day. I make sure that I at least write 1,000 words a day.
Mhm.
And after that 1,000 words a day, if I write more, I do. And if I don't, I don't. But I make sure that I do 1,000, except for on the weekends when the house is running amok and you can't do it, you know?
Yeah, that's
Right.
difficult.
You know, so but you just have to say, I got this story and I want to put it out there, and you put it out there at least to get your stuff written down. You got to start what you stop.
Yeah.
I mean, start, you have to finish what you start. There we go. And it
Just
doesn't
spit it
matter
out.
if it doesn't matter if you publish it or not, you got to finish what you start.
Yes.
And if it's
That's
any
a big one.
good, if you can manage to talk somebody into reading whatever you've written and they honestly give you their opinion, then take it from there. And, and it's like, so what if a publisher says, we don't think you're right for our publishing company, then, that woman from Harry Potter or whatever her name is.
Right.
J.K.
That's a good
Rowling.
story.
It was
Yes.
13 times she got turned down, and now all those publishers are going, shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, we missed out.
Yeah.
Big time. Oh, see, Carl Meadows just popped in. Hello, Governor. How are
Hey,
we doing
oh,
across the
God.
pond? You knew it was coming, Dan. You knew it was coming. I gotta
Yeah,
get
and
it.
there was no warning this time.
I just dove
I
right
just
on into it.
registered Meadows, and it's like you were into it. It's like, damn it. I
Yep.
swear to God, if we go to war with that country because of you, I'm going to serve you
Oh,
as a
right.
sacrifice.
There's something I've been worried about. I want to get my book finished and published before we go to war.
Mhm.
Seems like that's every other day.
Well,
For real.
it's have you
No
seen, I'm not going to get political on the show really, but have you seen what's taking place right now? I mean, in Washington and everywhere else where people
Yeah.
are bowing down and blocking the roads for praising Allah and saying down with US and down with Israel or whatever the hell.
No,
I mean,
I have not seen that.
Yeah, well, dude, it's
Wow.
here. It's here, and dude, yeah, we got to do something. But anyway,
Time to
That is
bug out
correct.
and go to my little hideout.
Well, it's like the meme that you see a lot here lately where it says talking about the world events, and it says Gen X people right now, and it's the Red Dawn shot with them on the side of the
Yeah.
hill, It's like
Yeah.
we're all ready for it. It's like we've been waiting on this since the 80s. Come on now.
dude,
Yep.
they
The Cold
really
War.
have no clear clue. They have no clear clue of what the hell is going to happen to them because we're not going to just stop at shooting them.
Mm-mm.
We'll take the country back too. So
And it isn't actually Red Dawn. I mean, most of the kids in in that generation today, they could care less. It's like, all right, fine. I think, socialism will be absolutely wonderful and communism should come in here. It's, those kids, I teach them.
those kids, well, they were lied to. Number one,
Yeah.
when we were kids, it was, this is what happens in communism.
Yeah,
These kids are told that, oh no, that doesn't take place. And it's this, that way, the other way. It's kind of like the old, back in the day, the army recruiters, they would tell you anything they could tell you to make you join the army until that was made illegal for them to do. And the kids really have no clue of anything. They don't have any clue of what prison is as a political, being arrested as being someone political, and the harshness of those prisons when you have no business being there, blah, 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 blah. But I digress,
Well,
Well,
now,
about the political thing. Do you put a lot of politics in your books as far as that goes? Does it play on any of that stuff?
this book has no politics. It has a little bit of politics as far as the way the immortals act amongst the humans. And that's
Okay.
about it.
So
A
it's
little
more
bit of
moral
politics
based.
between each other about how you act towards each other and all. That's the type of politics that are in this book.
Moral politics.
And in my time travel book, Twisted Life, that's going to be coming up, there's really no politics in that other than in that book, shit hit the fan in 2022. And that's the reason for the time travel.
Do you dip into a lot of personal experience when you put in when you start writing?
Always, you always write what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That
I'm not
is
a
like
novelist, so I do comic books, but I still dip into personal experiences when I'm
Well, what else do you have to draw from?
exactly. You gotta have a well of experience to do certain things, like write a good story.
Well, that and remembering that it's your book, anything goes.
Exactly.
And
that's what I like about indie publishing.
Might go against all the laws of physics, but it's your book. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I've had people talk to me about, getting in with other publishers and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't want to get into a situation where I'm not able to do what I want to do with my book. So, that's what the great thing about being an indie writer is.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about indie writing until a few months ago.
Really?
Wow.
I knew about indie music because I played it on my radio station.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, but I didn't know anything about indie authors until I ran into Jen Falk.
Yeah.
And
What the fuck?
What
yeah,
the fuck are
she-
you talking about?
It's actually been a thing since 2011. It's been a thing.
she opened up a can of worms for me that, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, but you're gonna like it. Anything indie is the rebel. It's the
Yeah.
rebel of everything. You know, traditional publishing. Screw you. We're gonna do it ourselves. And we figured,
That's right.
people figured it out.
Yeah, we
And
have
they
the
shared.
opportunity to do it ourselves. We're going to do it ourselves. Back in the day, we didn't have the opportunity. I mean, back in the day when I started writing this damn thing, Amazon was a brand new company.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, Chris
God.
Philbrook ushered me into the indie thing, so I learned from him.
Yeah, and the neat thing about that is like, again, being indie, he started off just sending these story snippets, these journal entries to his friends in emails.
Yeah,
And that's just kind of how they kept up with it. And then after a while, it was like, dude, you should publish this. And
Yeah.
the ability to do so was there. And I mean, it
Yeah.
revolutionized the world of writing. I mean, the ability to just do everything yourself and then submit it to one company. They handle all the printing, all the distribution. It's a game changer, you know?
it is. At the same time, I've listened to Gene Simmons from Kiss
Yep.
talk about how there will never be another Kiss or another Led Zeppelin or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there won't be, but there will be another Metallica, you know, because they existed,
Mm.
and you know they'll
They
be
existed, but the whole point is that everybody does their own way. And everybody is into the streaming, and they only stream one song of a particular artist that they like, and the hell with the rest of what the artist is about. They never go to see them. They don't support them. Where, you know, back in the day, it was $10 for a concert to get into to see your
Yeah.
favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
well,
No.
and
And it
it's
was-
insane now.
And it was
Like
and it was an
$5.
event. You look forward to that concert all week
Oh yeah, I
long.
saw Guns N' Roses when they first came out. I saw them with I don't remember who else was with them that night. I paid $15 for that concert for both me and my girlfriend to get in at the time,
Mhm.
and it was awesome. And I didn't even really know who Guns N' Roses was, but it was a concert, and I had nothing else to do that night. So
My
Yeah.
coolest
It was
co-
always cheap
no,
enough you could go. I mean, I can remember, I lived in Miami. And I mean, everybody, I mean, Jim Morrison played Coconut Grove, everybody did. I mean, we were at concerts once, twice a week. And it was always either free or under $10. And of course, I was a pretty little thing. So it was pretty much free for me because I would just flash my boobs and they'd be like, "Yep."
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither.
It was fun, and I wasn't a groupie or anything. I just got into the concerts and had a great time and rocked out. I mean, all those, you know, Led Zeppelin and everybody we saw. So it was fantastic. It really was.
That was a great era of music right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of the cool experiences I had, me and a girlfriend went to Eric Clapton show at the big arena downtown, Bridgestone. And we get there, we smoke out in the car, get stoned as hell. We go inside and we have no idea where to go to get to our seats. Lost as Easter eggs, like just wandering
Yep.
the freaking aisles, just don't know where to go. This guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, you guys having trouble finding your seats?" And we're stoned as shit. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, "Well, Santa Claus wants to wish you an early Merry Christmas." And he hands us an envelope, and inside the envelope are 2 floor seats or 2 floor tickets.
There
So
you
we
go.
got to just go all the way down and be
That's
on the
awesome.
floor to watch the show. That would have not happened had we not smoked weed. So yeah, we would have found our
Awesome.
seats, been up in the nosebleeds, and that'd have been the end of it. So
Yeah,
I win.
My only big concert I've ever been to, like I've been to a lot of shows in local clubs and stuff like that.
I
like,
watched
my
bands play on
biggest-
the back of a trailer once.
My biggest show was Slipknot, and we got free tickets, and we were in Austin, and we had an hour to get from Austin to San Antonio to use the tickets. So we were going like 130 miles an hour from Austin
Damn.
to San Antonio. We were hauling ass. We got there after the first band just finished, and we got in. I think it was Coheed and Cambria. They just finished, and we got in and we got front row tickets to like go see Slipknot. It was pretty damn cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing I can.
Well, hell,
remember.
since we're telling concert stories, give us one, Dan.
Oh, geez. Most of my concerts, because I grew up in Williams, were up at the NAU college. And a lot of my concerts were in the 70s because I
Yeah.
was a teenager in the 70s. So I got to see a lot of great bands, but I think ELO was my favorite because we snuck out, drove down to Phoenix, 3-hour drive, and we got to see ELO live on stage. And back then that was just like the light show to see. I heard Pink Floyd was better, but I didn't get to see Pink Floyd until the 80s, late 80s, when they went to
Floyd
San
was
Diego.
brilliant in the beginning.
Yeah, I've been a Floyd fan forever.
But some of the others, I mean, Led Zeppelin had a great show.
I got to see
can
them.
remember they did Heaven in Atlanta, and they would be 100 a song, and it was just, now it might have been my condition that night, but to me it was just like the most stunning, the stunning thing that I'd ever saw.
The concerts back then, they would always pick like one of their songs and you'd get the extended long version that you didn't get on the albums. You had to be at the concert for it.
Yes.
I remember the last one I saw at NEU was April Wine, Loverboy, and I cannot remember who the other one was, but that was freaking fantastic. Loverboy came out and played like this extremely long version of I can't remember the name of the song right now. I was
You must have been.
stoned as
I was
fuck
going
at
to say
that
you
night.
had to been in a really nice place.
We were always out of our mind. It's like after the concert's over, we're in the parking lot till the next day, figuring out who's good to drive. And of course, the reason nobody's good to drive is because we were still smoking. So
Well, spinning off of the music thing, Paul,
Yeah.
when you're writing, do you have like music playing in the background, or do you even like use music that's specific to a scene you know you're about to write? Or are you like me, you got to have silence?
I write with music. I got my playlist on my phone.
Yeah.
I actually have music on a SIM card on my phone, so there's no commercial bullshit.
Yeah.
And it works really well on the motorcycle too that way.
yeah,
And I gotta have the music as a background,
Yes. I'm the
if
same
I
way.
don't, then
Me
my
too.
mind just races too much if I don't do it that way.
see,
I
I
gotta-
can't do that. I lose focus with music.
Me too. Me too.
I
I
gotta-
have.
I'll
I'll
get
start
into the
listening to the
song.
song.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm the opposite. I need when I'm writing, music kind of gets the words down quicker for me.
Yeah,
I
me
need
too.
music.
See, I do comic books, so in my head when I'm writing, I'm picturing like a movie, and for me to have a soundtrack to that movie helps very much.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's
See,
like
I couldn't do
I'll just-
comics. I'd be hearing Benny Hill in my head all the time.
Yeah, whenever I'm writing a scene, I'm put some exciting music whenever I'm doing a crazy scene, like when
Yeah.
Dan gets bit by a centipede or something like that.
Oh God, not a centipede. I hate those things. I
So
should
now,
be
Paul-
nicer to you, Angel.
What was
What
that?
are hell? He wants to hear that again.
Oh, I should have been nicer to you.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
What I
Mhm.
miss? What I
So
miss?
now-
I give Angel a lot of shit
Oh yeah.
because it's fun. But yeah, so now he's killing me in every possible way to just gross me out. And centipedes that grosses me out.
So yeah, rough. So now on your playlist, what are like do you have some go-to songs that just seem to work better than some of the others on the playlist?
I just random let it play, man.
Okay. So just
All right.
whatever comes up, comes up.
I just random let it play. And, because I've got the thing right there that if I don't want to hear it, I can just, move forward with it. Anyway,
Yeah.
in the chat, I put my YouTube channel in there. So
Outstanding.
you can hear my my narrated stories, whatever, I mean, if they're good, they're good. If they're not, they're not. It's all up to the listener, I suppose.
All right. When I saw the bad thing is the chat you just posted into is not the one that's here. You actually have to do that through Facebook. So you'd have to have Facebook up on your phone and then have the show up and then comment in the comments thing. And
My computer runs so much like crap because it's so old that I have to have what we're doing right now up, and that's it.
Okay. Well, just
So-
after the show,
Yeah.
go in, get on Facebook, go in and drop that link in there. That way everybody can get to it.
That works. And but yeah, you can hear some of my short stories there.
Cool.
And in WordPress, I have one of my short stories.
Oh yeah.
The interesting thing about this story is the fact that there's a farmer. The guy's name is Hicks, his last name, and he used to have his house and his barn down on the other side of the road that's split by a highway from me. And I went there one day, and you could see through the sides of the house and all this kind of stuff. It was that rotten and stuff. And I wrote my story. It's kind of like one of those stories where you get hit in the head and you go visit a scene of what happened and stuff like that. And then you wake up from that. It's that kind of scenario, this short story. But when Hicks read my story, he fucking tore the house down.
That's crazy. Love it. Fucking love it.
And it's like, well, because he's never given an explanation of why they moved out of that house. They moved out overnight.
Wow.
Really? Just
And he's never given an explanation of why that happened.
Wow. I mean,
my imagination's going nuts. I've got
Paranormal,
everything
maybe?
from ghosts to Sasquatch to mother-in-law, whatever.
I'd say of the three, I'd be the most afraid of the mother-in-law.
Yes.
I write a lot about ghosts. I live in a haunted house.
I
Yeah.
grew up in one. That's
Yeah, me too.
amazing.
me too.
My haunted
Very
house,
haunted.
the woman we bought the house from, she was married twice. Both her husbands passed away. They stayed here. And when she died, everything kind of went quiet. But there's an incident that happened across the street, like 15 years ago, where a guy ended up cutting his own head off after he killed his family.
Holy crap. How do
the
you cut
hell
your
do you
own
do
head
that?
off?
You're right.
With a chainsaw, no less.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's
So I wrote a
dedication.
story. I wrote a story about that. And then the owner was a friend of mine who, before the current owner is now, and he passed on. And he, after he died, I walked over because I hadn't seen him, and his grass was all grown up. And I'm going, what the fuck? And I swear to you, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, I'm dead.
Oh, weird.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it.
3 hours later, I get confirmation on Facebook what the shoulder tap was about.
That's nuts, man.
That's a good story.
I have never had an encounter. I am so jealous of all y'all.
My
Oh.
mom's house when I was growing up was very haunted. I saw so many things in that house, and a lot of people that lived there long enough did too. My wife, when we first started dating, hated coming over because it was like guaranteed something would happen while she was there. Doors would open and close, lights would go on and off. My first experience, I was 10 years old in the house, and I woke up to some lady standing at the foot of my bed. And at first I thought it was my mother. And then I realized I could see my nightlight through her legs. And I was like, oh shit. It did the whole blanket over the face thing.
Yeah,
And-
that's the ultimate armor.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I pulled my blanket back down, she was gone, and I booked it out of the fucking room. I was like, dude, oh my God. And ever since that day, man, just weird things happen. You hear kids laughing, there's no kids. You hear people talking in other rooms, there's nobody there. Me and a friend of mine had a full body apparition form walk about 3 or 4 steps and then disappear right in front of us while we were watching TV, and we both looked at each other like, did we just see that? It was like, what the fuck is that? So yeah, I mean, I totally believe in the paranormal, man. Like nobody can be any different.
I got a good one. I slept with a ghost once.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah, it isn't, it
Doc.
isn't as exciting as it sounds, I know. I was in a Scottish castle and they were known for having 4 ghosts. And I knew
Uh-huh.
those 3 of them were, because one was a woman who had gotten herself, it was a servant and gotten herself pregnant and they locked her into a tower and she threw herself from the tower and she walks it, things like that. I
Yeah.
never knew the 4th one. I didn't know there was a 4th one. And when I came in late at night and pretty much went straight to bed. I mean, it was like I traveled like 14 or 16 hours driving that day to get there. And I was just bloody exhausted. And plus I'd had a photo shoot early that morning. So I think I'd been up at then for like 23 hours. And I go to bed in this room that they'd given me. And the person let me in. I'd obviously woken them up, so they didn't tell me much. And I'd been in bed for about half an hour and there's a dog barking at the door. And at that point I traveled and I was staying at all these historic places and they all have cats and dogs and just sort of own the place. And, just you let them in. So I opened the door, let him in. It was a little Scotty, went over, jumped up on the bed, turned around a couple times, pulled down. I was like, okay, I guess I'm sleeping with you tonight. I crawled back in bed. I woke up about 5 a.m. and it's nudging me and it wants to be let loose. So I opened the door and out it walked. And the next morning at brekkie, I was telling them about how cute little Scotty was and how he'd slept with me. And they're all looking at me like I am daft. They don't have a Scotty. It is the 4th ghost. And he slept with me. So I can say I slept with a ghost.
That's
Holy
cool.
crap.
I
Awesome.
can't even tell you how disappointed I am.
Yeah, right.
I thought we were getting into some
It
ghost
was really,
story,
really good.
Oh,
too. Let me tell you.
but I could spin that. Doc
disappointed.
slept with a dog.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
slept with a cat. My very first experience, first night we were in this house, is that I'm laying in bed and I feel a cat jump up on the bed and come up and snuggle with me. We didn't
Oh.
have a cat.
Oh boy.
And
Wow.
then for like 3 weeks after that, you'd hear a cat out by the garage,
Huh.
right underneath the window, but there was no cat. But you'd hear this little kitten go meow, 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 meow.
I'd
We
be,
had a ghost cat.
I'll say I'd be chucking shoes at that ghost cat. Just shut up. I'm trying to sleep up here. Don't hunt somebody else, you feline fuck.
I felt something jump on my bed once. I thought it was the size of a cat, but it wasn't a ghost. It was actually a New York rat about this big.
Hey.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn.
Yes,
And
yes,
it
I know
freaked
what
me out.
he's talking about.
Dude, it was in the dark and all I could see is 2 little glowing beady eyes. I was like, that's not right.
I'm gonna tell you something. Those New York rats are some of the scariest things you'll ever see.
Oh,
Scarier than the rats even out here.
Get big as
The rats
clown
out,
shoes.
rats out here have nothing to do, have
They're-
nothing on the New
They're
York
easily
rat.
the size of a Maine Coon, man, full grown. They're ridiculously big.
Never
Hell, I've
seen
heard
a New York
little
rat.
kids ride them. I've heard little kids ride them.
And at night you could see them
I
with
need
the
to put the
hundreds
rat
going like
story
this
in.
on the street,
Yeah,
going
like-
out of sewers and stuff like
like-
that. It's crazy,
Yeah, it's like Master Splinter and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
right?
Damn.
Mhm.
All right, so let me ask you this now. Do you have any ideas that are maybe outside of your comfort zone, but you want to write it, but you just maybe haven't built yourself up to it yet?
Oh.
Smut.
What a
Smut,
good
yeah.
question. I'm gonna have to
I
say,
stunned him.
I'm gonna have to say, I don't know.
You
Honestly,
just-
I haven't thought about it. It's like, Jen says she's an apocalyptic writer. Then I meet our publisher and I meet you guys and you're all doing this zombie thing. And it's like, okay, well, I can give my attention to that and see where it goes. Because my answer was I started another time travel book. And then it was like, no, I'm going to just do this. And I'm going to write, I've got short stories that I'm going to put all into a book at some point. But
Like an anthology.
AF, it's just a book of short
Yeah.
stories. I mean, I
A
love
collection.
reading, Mark Twain had a
Yeah,
book of short stories
Yeah.
that were of haunted stories and stuff. And that's where I got that concept from.
I got that from
'cause
Stephen King.
I love to write ghost haunted, scary paranormal stuff. I like to do that.
Yeah.
Every book there's got to be some kind of encounter with every single book that I put in of some kind of ghost.
Well, it's beautiful. Thank you. You're so welcome. And they just brought me a gorgeous flan.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
nom
That's why
nom.
I'm broadcasting.
Yum, yum, yum.
here. And and now they're gonna bring more drinks. I can't wait.
Uh,
There were too many drinks already this morning. It's not even noon here, guys.
Somebody's gonna be asleep by 2. Oh, we got a hello from the pooch. We got a pooch in the
there's
house.
too many things going on all the way
This
through
show-
until late at night.
Yeah, this show is notorious for animal sightings. It's been this way since day 1. So there's the first one.
Well,
Yep.
if
See
you're
who
not
else shows
careful,
up.
you
The
might
first
just
one
see
was
it.
Jack. Jack's the animal that's here every episode.
If you're not careful, you might just see something in this room.
Yeah.
I used
we
to
already found it.
when I was doing my podcasts, every other week or so, I would catch an EVP.
Really?
yeah.
Well, somebody was talking, and I'm not sure if it was on their end or my end or both ends, but I'd always catch an EVP.
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool.
That is crazy. Now, what does it sound like? Like, is it got but does this have like almost an electronic tone to it, or is it just clear like a person right there in the room with you?
Well, some of the EVPs I've caught over the years sounds like a record playing backwards. And
That's creepy.
some of them just sound like people talking, and some of them there's a distortion.
Ha, see, Dan, it was a good question.
I'll take that, Eagle.
Those Class A EVPs sound like someone's just sitting there talking to you.
Yeah, some of them. I mean,
Yeah.
we did a thing where I took my laptop into an old mortician house, funeral home, and because they had just decided to rent these apartments out, turn the funeral home into apartments, and
That's
That can't
stepdaughter-
possibly go wrong.
the stepdaughter and her friend came running home one night. It's haunted. We saw this little boy, blah, 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 blah. And so the next day we show up with my laptop and my microphone here, and I just cranked the sound boost all the way up and the volume all the way up for recording, and let the microphone sit there. And I caught all kinds of different EVPs that way. And I've got an EVP of a boy wanting a glass of water because there was no kids in the house whatsoever. I got an EVP of a kid saying it was time for bed, and then you hear what sounds like a record playing backwards. And so that's. I got that somewhere. I don't remember where I had those EVPs. Might be on my SoundClick.
Wow. Well, quick shout out, Bobby G. Murphy, or as I know her, Blue Check Bobby, is watching and says hi. So
Hi,
she's in the
Bobby G.
house. So something I'm kind of curious about. Have you had any like really negative encounters? Like,
Yes. Yes.
well, break us down one.
Well, after my heart attack, which was September of last year, I had triple bypass and went through all kinds of shit.
Glad you made it through.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm kind of here. Thanks. This room that I'm sitting in smelled like death warmed over. It smelled like there was something rotten in this thing. And it took me 6 months to cleanse it. At first, I thought it was a dead squirrel in the ceiling. It wasn't any dead squirrel.
Huh.
And
smells
then
like that. It's demonic, man.
There's I've had times where you get these critters in the house where they like to do things like pick something up and take it. I'm pretty good at keeping my house clean, so it doesn't really get too bad. The woman's husband who passed that lived here, his famous thing, and he still does it to this day out there in my shed. I'll be working on something and he will grab the tool that I'm using most and he'll take it and sit it on the other side of the
Oh.
shed just to be an asshole.
I was say, what an asshole, man.
Just to be an asshole.
Uh,
Because he wants he wants recognized. You give him recognition, and 9 times out of 10, they'll leave you alone after that.
Yeah. I've been physically attacked. That is an experience I'll never forget. At my mom's old house. I was sleeping. I had a very vivid dream that a shadow person was standing. It could have been real. I mean, it was that, kind of like thing where you're so like you don't know which one is which. But I had it was like a flash, and it was on top of me, and it was holding me down and beating me up with, and then like when I woke up, my gums were bleeding. I had a black eye. I had bruises all over my ribs, and I had a handprint on this arm, but it would have been like me trying to grab with this hand. So it couldn't.
Yeah.
And we had to have a psychic come in and cleanse the house and do all that stuff and the sage and all that stuff. But I got my ass whipped by a ghost. So yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
Anthony.
damn.
I remember my first beer too.
Was it bourbon or scotch or, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Somebody might have been sipping on something on that evening. Holy shit.
No, she ended up telling us that there was actually a guy that was in our house. She said she could see him and that he looked like he had literally fought his way back from hell to be in that house. And he was an abusive person and just kind of like beating people up.
Damn.
And picked me, I guess. So
Holy crap. I guess it was like the old prison thing. Pick the biggest guy in the yard, whoop their ass, and everybody
Yeah,
would be nice
right.
to you,
Yeah.
So they jumped on your big ass.
well,
So now how's progress coming on your current projects? I mean, you flowing along, you hitting any speed bumps?
Immortal Apocalypse Immortal or whatever the hell. I don't know even know what the
You
hell
know
to
what I'm
call that
calling
damn thing right now. I'm done writing it. I'm working on the rewrite. I'm 20 pages in on the rewrite, so I hope to have that to D here soon. And my short stories, I've only got like 20 of them. And she said something about 40,000 words.
Right.
Yeah, well, I
Think
got
they
probably
got that
10,000.
covered. Yeah. You're going though. You're going.
I'm getting there. And with the other book, that because of the location where the other book, the time travel takes place, I have to do a lot of research about a place called Fort Meigs, had to do with 1812 and winning in actually Ohio being the way that it is now, because had they lost the war, then Toledo, Ohio would be part of Michigan. So,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah. So,
Wow.
Is that
and
something you
at
really
that
enjoy?
time, Michigan wasn't even a state yet. Ohio was a state, and Michigan was part of Canada still.
Do you
Oh,
enjoy doing the research? Like, is that something you really enjoy? I know that it's a mixed bag. Some guys don't like doing all the research, but some guys really like doing it because you learn.
If it's a topic I'm interested in, then I'll research the hell out of it and
Yes.
then do what I need to. If it's something I don't want to do, then it's like pulling teeth. Or
Yeah.
in my case, I'll just take them all the way out.
That's a first for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
There
That
you
has
go.
never happened.
We
before
have
right
broke
there.
new ground.
boom.
No, I'm lucky to do comics because I don't have to research shit.
That, especially when you're just making it up as you go along. It's like,
Exactly.
let's create a new planet. We
Right.
put
Yeah,
whatever we
but
want here.
The downside of that is, how many kids today believe what comes out of the comics?
I
As
know.
fact.
It's crazy. They
Yeah.
got Swiss cheese brains, man. Swiss cheese. It's crazy.
It's like it's so stupid.
Well, let me ask
Oh.
you a question then, since this will be my first one. When you're writing
Really?
your stories, and maybe it's not. Who the fuck
Who
knows?
cares?
Who cares at this
Who
point?
cares?
It's a show. When you're writing, and you got a scene, and it's like a scene you really like, but you just can't get it right. And it comes to that point where you're like, if I can't fix this, it's going to have to go. How do you deal with that?
I wait till the rewrite.
Do you?
Mm.
Well, I mean, I do too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't like getting rid of these scenes,
Well,
but I can't make them work.
I don't know about anybody else, but as far as I'm concerned, sometimes I'll end up wiping a couple paragraphs because it's like, what the hell were you thinking?
I've done that.
When you're writing?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, or it because it's like, okay, my mind was in a different place when I started writing that day, and it's like, just no, it can't be that way. Yeah. So it happens, but usually I just wait till the rewrite and just work around it, because by then, you know, it's with me, since the heart attack, I can't remember shit.
Oh, wow.
I know.
When I'm
Memory
looking at
goes.
this book as I'm rewriting it, for me, it's like reading something for the first time in some of the spots. It's like, no, this doesn't work. And my mind, I went from having an eidetic memory after I got out of the hospital to not remembering where I put my teeth the next day.
Well, see, a lot of people run around with a CRS, can't remember shit. Me, I have craft, can't remember a fucking thing. So that's pretty much where I reside. And I run into that all the time. I use the read aloud feature on Word, because Carl Meadows and some others have told me, said, man, it's a real good way to catch mistakes. You know, just let it read it back to you and listen to it. And if something don't sound right, it probably ain't right.
That does help.
Yeah,
That
Yeah, it
too.
does. It does. I don't use that. I use something else, but yeah.
So Doc,
same principle.
Doc, same question. You're our resident editor here.
Yes, she is.
So if you're reading something and you know the scene ain't working and you can't figure it out, do you just put a big red X saying get rid of it?
No, I usually make comments off to the side, like, you know, WTF is going on, or this isn't working. You need to pull this out and make it a separate chapter, or you need to explain this because it doesn't make sense, dude. And depending on who the author is, I may get more 4-letter words in it or less. But we
You could
just
only
sort of-
imagine what Jeff's looked like.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
No doubt.
Well, even Scott Baker sometimes, I mean, it's like, we're in your universe, and I've read every one of his books. Did this idea ever come from? Because it makes no sense. And, you know, and I try and say, okay, you can take this and do this with it. I mean, I just finished doing some of Jack's, and it's like, okay, let's, you know, you need to pull this and make a chapter talking about that, and take another chapter and talk about this, because book doesn't work the way it is. But, you know, that, I mean, I prefer to try and help them keep it in somewhere.
Well, okay. Bobby Jean said, I do that all the time. And then she followed that up with, I only understand things when they have lots of 4-letter words. So, yeah, I'm kind of the same way, because, I mean, yeah, trust me, Doc has gotten on me about some stuff, and I'm trying to work through it. But I tell you how detailed this woman is. She sent me the backstory of Adirondack chairs, the wood they were made of, how much they would cost, and I incorporated them into a scene off all that. It's like, I think the scene is actually shorter than the detail she gave me. Like,
You could have had 200 or 300 words out of that, dude. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like Stephen King. He takes a whole page to describe something.
That's something I can't stand, is taking a whole 2-3 pages to talk about how you're going to wipe your ass.
Welcome to Stephen King.
Yeah, I don't like, I mean, I like Stephen King's work, his early work, but I don't like when he got long-winded. Even when I go through my own stories, I will shorten sentences just to keep the pace going.
The last one I enjoyed was the Naganeas from the 4 Past Midnight Connection.
Yeah, the Langoliers was great. And you know, they're redoing that, I'm hearing. They're going to redo the
but I hear the
TV
whites are,
version.
yeah, but the whites are all over the place, so they got to untile that before that.
Ah, okay.
This
I
just
hadn't heard
shows you
about
that Hollywood has nothing else to do. So they're like, Let's redo
But you know what?
Langoliers.
But you know why I don't want them to do it?
Well, they
What's-
had a
what-
writer's
what-
strike,
what's-
so
what's-
they
what-
weren't able
Because
to write.
Brunson pre-chunt.
Yeah.
Because man, Brunson pre-chunt did a wonderful job as Craig
He
Tooman.
did. He did. Him turning psycho crazy like he did, knowing him as Balky, and then to see that's like, holy crap.
If you can't get Brunson back, then you shouldn't be making. You should just leave it alone.
What if he's dead?
Yeah, he's
Huh?
dead. He's
Yeah,
dead.
I mean, I don't know if he is, but what if he is?
Yep.
Now
What if
what are
he's
you gonna
dead?
do, Angel?
I think he is dead. Oh, wait a minute. I'll look it up after the show. I'm going to get into
Hey,
No,
facts
he's
right
still
now.
alive. Oh, he's still
I
alive.
just wanted to poke fun at Angel. I didn't mean to get a conversation.
No, he's still
going.
alive. Man.
Yeah.
He's 64, man. I mean, he's younger than my father, but man, he was he did a wonderful job with Toomey.
He did. He did. Now, hey, do you ever draw inspiration from like movies and TV shows?
I
Or are
try.
you-
I try real hard not to. One of the reasons I don't read is because I don't want something that I read 10 years ago to bleed into my work.
I have had that happen to me. The main culprit, RIP, is Jeff Thompson. He has a way with sarcasm and wit and blending them together, and it actually has a voice. There is a Jeff Thompson sound. Like if you've read his books, they sound like Jeff Thompson. You know it's him, even if you don't know that he wrote it. You know it's him. And I've caught myself as I'm writing, getting to like dialogue or certain parts where all of a sudden I just wrote exactly how Jeff would have wrote it, and it's like,
Right.
no,
So-
back.
I've
So you have
that.
had
I've
paranormal.
I've had incidents, and I had to be careful because I caught myself 3 times with this, where I used to love to watch Farscape. And there's scenes in Farscape that I would fucking memorize just because I'd watch those shows over and over. And I caught myself a couple of times putting those lines in this book.
Wow.
No, I
Wow.
can't do that. You know, it's just as wrong as if I put a bunch of Rocky Horror shit in this book.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I
plagiarizing like a
can't, it's
fool.
plagiarizing and you can't do it.
Nope.
You know, so I have to be really careful. And
I used to run into that when I wrote lyrics for my music back in the day. I didn't listen to the same genre that I was in because I didn't want anybody saying, "Oh, you got that line from so and so," or "You got that from so and so." It's like, dude, I don't even listen to that shit. So
I same thing happened to me a couple times. I wrote songs that, oh man, listen to this, and they'd say, "Dude, that's Metallica." And it's like, fuck you. I worked all night on this. Fuck you.
yeah, I mean, it's so much easier just not to listen to it. You know, you don't have to defend it because it's like you're there. Oh, do you know who so and so is? Nope, never even heard of them. So, you know, whatever.
Is what it is. Well, guys, believe it or not, we have reached the end of the
yes.
show. It
Okay.
came up on us quick.
Already.
We are down to the last 2.5, say 3 minutes of the show. But you know how we do things around here.
Mhm.
So we're going to start off this week because he just did his big cover reveal. Angel Ramon, my liege, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Amazon, Angel Ramon. You can find me on with these lovely bastards every Saturday on the book. on
Yeah,
the
you
book-
slipped. You slipped. Oh,
Yeah, we
I
got
know.
you.
Brain fights. I'm gonna blame Dungeondan for that. For giving me notice.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Take that.
I'm helping though. But seriously, my newest book just came out on pre-order. It's already up to 20 pre-orders, 2 days out. It's 99
Nice.
cents. So go check it out today. And you can find and you can also find me on the Written on That every day, posting fun questions and all that.
Fantastic. One quick final shout out. Bobby Jean Murphy said, "Love you guys. Happy I got to catch a little before it ended." So thank you, Bobby, for tuning in. We love it when people tune in and comment. It's always fun, more fun, at least that way. In fact, we need to get us a comment ninja, Dan. Know anybody?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to get, because that's what's missing.
Where's
I knew
our
there was something
normal
missing.
comment ninja?
Right? Tim,
Yeah, right.
if you're
Tim,
out
where
there,
you been, Brooks?
damn it.
He's MIA.
On to my next victim, Dungeondan. Where can everybody find you? Because they can actually
They
find
can
you
find me.
now.
I'm on Amazon under Dan Uebel, not Dungeondan Uebel, but I'm on Amazon now. Short story got published in Word Peddler magazine titled The Devil's Head. And you, of course, can find me stalking Angel Ramon over in Puerto Rico behind the Walmart.
Yep. Yeah, you love me too much. I can tell.
Yep. He's gonna come up and give you cuddles. You
Yep.
won't see it coming, but
We're gonna
you're
share
get
a
the
bottle
cuddles.
of wine and some weed.
I'll go.
Is
straight
that all
to me
you're gonna
on you.
share? No.
I don't
Right,
know.
like
It depends on
somebody
how
on you, right?
froggy he is that night.
Yeah, no, you Mike Nagania. I'll just get you Mike Nagania.
Keep that
All right,
rich
well, to
craft
keep this
away.
thing going, I'm actually kind of curious because we got a lot of authors that do tend to catch these shows and whatnot, and some of them may be looking for an editor. Doc, where can everybody find you if they might need a little editing help?
You can find me on Facebook under Doc Fried, Fried. And you can also find me at doc@aboarts.com, ABOARTS.com. And give me a shout out.
Sweet. And I'm telling you guys, if you want somebody that's going to edit and be real with you, and I'm talking real with you, that your feelings get pushed off the table like a cat with a coffee cup. Like,
That's the way it
it's like
should be, though. That's the way it should
It's
be.
the way it should be.
exactamundo.
I'm buying stock in red ink now that she's on this.
Yeah, you should absolutely do so. Trust me. But she will make your book better. Make no mistake about it. All right, Mr. Wabbit. Hang on. Let's bring this bad boy up. This is fresh. This thing's still hot, guys. I mean, it's still hot. It's already in 5 bookstores. Anthony Bad Wabbit Castro, break it down for us, baby.
You guys can find me at DMW Comics on Facebook or dmwcomics.com, where you can get a digital copy or physical copies of my book. You can, there's like numbers and addresses. You can call them. They'll ship it out to you. It's in 5 stores right now in the local Austin area, all the big top ones. So it's good. It's doing pretty good.
And I will be working on getting it in more places. So
And you gotta look at the colors of this. The colors are just so vibrant.
yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
and I've got book 2 and 3 already written.
Because you never know how much you'll be worth one day.
There you go, man. I got book 2 and 3 in the pipe. They're getting drawn right now. And I'm working on book 4. It's about a quarter of the way done. So yeah, I mean, things are going good. Digging it. And if anybody wants a physical copy, like I said, go to dmwcomics.com. There's a little tab that says physical copies, and it'll give you all the information that you need to order one or go to the store itself. And yeah, so check it out.
All right. Now, real quick, if they want signed copies, is that possible?
That would have to be something directly like conversation, like a direct conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's not out of, I don't think that's not possible. So
Very cool, man. And congratulations again, dude. The book is fantastic.
Oh, one last thing. YouTube. You can find me at DMW Comics on YouTube, where I do Castro's Comic Book Corner, where I interview other comic book creators, indie comic book creators. And yeah, check that out too.
Awesome sauce. All right, for the big time guest this week, our guy, for me, I guess I'm gonna start calling him legendary just because of the fact he's been podcasting and was podcasting long before I ever knew what the hell a podcast was.
Yeah.
Tigger Ieson, baby. Where can everybody find you?
Oh, you'll find me on YouTube. I put the link in the chat and Facebook already. You can find me on Amazon, Paul Ieson. It's spelled Ieson.
Yeah, not L like
Yep,
we
it's
did.
Ieson. You can find me on Facebook. You can find my author page on Facebook too. It's Paul Ieson, Ieson. Yeah. Or but I don't
Rub it in, damn it. Just rub it in.
I'm not,
I learned a lesson from Ieson, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. We've been illiterate since day one.
Yeah.
Pretty
well,
much. That's why we write.
Yeah.
I'm not a newbie. I don't get pissed off over nothing. I just give the shit back. That's all. Hey, Jack, you do a good show. Everybody
so
here,
much.
you did a good show.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Are you willing to come back sometime?
Well, yeah, I'll come back.
I'll say, because the next book comes out, the next book comes out, the next book comes out. Oh yeah, you got to keep on coming back and talking about the next
You
one.
got to keep on joining us. Mowgli bastard.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get up and out of here, just to let y'all know, next week, Halloween weekend, we're going to have Derek Martin coming by to hang out. Just a real quick flash, what I'm working on right now by the man, Derek Martin right there, Elude. It's not a heavy read. It's a light read. Something to get into, especially if you're into like framed people got in trouble for something that they didn't really do, and now they got to clear their name. Right here, baby. You want to get that and tune in next week to catch him. So,
hang on. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to hug a red dragon, read about it here.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah, and I already know me and Dan are about to jump on and get our e-copy.
We're getting a copy today.
So you can go ahead and check your ticker. You're going to see at least 2 jump up on there. Absolutely. So for Bad Wabbit Anthony Castro, Dungeondan Uebel, Angel, my liege, Ramon, Doc Freed, the editor extraordinaire, and our guest, Paul Tigger Ieson. This has been the Book Asylum podcast. We will see you next week. Peace out.
See you
Take it
back.
easy, guys.